And for further analysis, we're joined from Cairo by the Associate Professor of the Institute of International Relations and World History at Lobachevsky University, Dr. Amr Deeb. Welcome to Q News. Dr. Amr, now, how serious is the Russian drone incursion into Poland in terms of NATO's collective security obligations under Article 5?
Greetings to you. With respect to what took place previously of Russian drones incursion into the Polish airspace, a matter that triggered Poland to consolidate or through which to give the right for its partners for consultation to move forward in the next phase of the implementation of the Article 5 of the NATO Charter. This issue is a great escalation, and if it isn't going to be stopped, that would trigger a direct confrontation between Russian side and the Western side, such as Poland. That has a great aggression to the Russian side from the Western side that supports strongly the Ukrainian side in its war with Russia.
Mm-hmm. And what does NATO's first defensive action since the Ukraine war began reveal about the alliance's readiness and red lines?
NATO is for long is prepared for any escalation on the Eastern Front. There are several maneuvers that are taking place on a monthly basis in the eastern countries of the NATO. The NATO, particularly the western side, is strongly and fully prepared for any escalation. And what happened of the incursion or the breach of the Polish airspace by the drones is an evidence of the NATO that is fully prepared and vested to any matter that could happen or on the level of the Russian-Western confrontation.
Mm-hmm.
Such a matter we see in several statements by the Eastern Europe countries, on top of which Poland, and certainly we could notice on the size and the amount of the European maneuvers in the eastern area with Russia in preparing of any escalation by Russia or even from the NATO countries, if the matter were developed either in Ukraine or in particularly with Poland.
Mm-hmm. And how credible is Moscow's denial that its drones targeted Poland, given Warsaw's evidence of Russian markings?
For Russia and what took place of the airspace breach could be accidental, particularly with the lack of control electronically of such drones. And this could be happened as an accident. In the meantime, that could be a Russian trial of the air defense system, particularly for the NATO, and the possibility of the air defense breaches for the NATO. Away of these two assumptions, the matters aren't for the interest of anyone, particularly US and Russia. Poland wishes for the escalation that has an historic hostility with Russia and Ukraine in particular. So, any confrontation that could happen due to such a breach of drone, not in the interest of Russia nor the United States or the biggest countries in the NATO, on top of which Britain, France, and Germany. But with respect to the reality of the airspace breach of Poland in itself is a great risk, and even for Russia it's going to be very dangerous if it is not done deliberately. It's a message that for Russia should be fully alert and to use all its capabilities of not repeated incident, as that would lead to direct confrontation between Russia and the NATO. We're talking here about Poland as a member state of NATO, and if engage directly with other countries, the NATO should be intervene according to the Article 5 of the NATO Charter.
And what impact could President Trump's remark that the incursion may have been a mistake actually have on alliance cohesion and deterrence?
Trump's remark ultimately will be forced as the United States is the most important state in the NATO that could be forced to engage with other countries in the NATO if they decided something. Therefore, Trump has his own perspective with regard to the system of work within the NATO and with respect to his ties with Russia. But ultimately, he has to abide to what's happening within the NATO, and for the countries, if they decided something, then even Trump mentioned it frankly, and even on the level of the economic sanctions for the NATO to decide the size of sanctions, and we at the United States will endorse such sanctions.
So, well, I get your point, sir. I'd like to thank you so much, Dr. Amr Eldib from Cairo, the Associate Professor of the Institute of International Relations and World History at Lobachevsky University. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on Q News. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes tonight's special coverage. Don't forget to follow Q News on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and TikTok at Q News EG to always stay informed. My name is Hala Al-Hamalawi. Thank you so much for watching.